Well, welcome to you all. Good morning, or afternoon, such as it may be for you. And thank you for coming. A couple little reminders. We are still in the unfolding drama of the nation and world around us, and we have very limited agency with how all that's going, above beyond speaking up, making our collective voice heard, where things not only want to go, but absolutely need to go. But we do have the freedom to continue to develop ourselves as agents in this world and globe, nation and globe that we find ourselves in, troublesomely embedded in right now. And that self-development is what we are hoping to expand your thinking about, expand your imaginations about, and expand your capacity about through all these webinar series of my not only focusing on individual topics, but through the full series, unfolding a broader vision of who we are as sentient beings and how that sentience and how that capacity and how our full human potential can unfold. A cell biologist friend of mine is fond of saying there's this theory and there's that theory and the other theory. Then there's the way the critter works. And through 50 years of my own career of working on thousands of bodies and reading and exploring and thinking, that is the vision that I hope to unfold, at least from my little monad of experience here. How the critter works. So in the chat box, you'll be free to type in questions, which Saraswati will relay to me. I will do my best to handle questions as the series of photos and discussion goes by. And we typically will open up a little room at the end of all the presentation for any questions that have arisen in your mind through the course of the entire event here. And another little reminder, our series is ongoing and will be as far as we see the capabilities stretching into the horizon, Saraswati and I. But in the immediate future, we're going to take the next 2 Sundays off, give everybody a little breather from their Sunday morning or afternoon obligation to plug into this little series of shows for you all. And then we will take up after those 2 Sundays of break. And the first thing we will be doing on our next Sunday after the break will be the pelvic girdle. And the Sunday after that will be the shoulder girdle. Now, we have taken brief looks at the structure and relationship of the pelvic girdle and the shoulder girdle to our body as a whole in past webinars. But these specific webinars focusing on the shoulder, focusing on the pelvic girdle, will have many more details, much more thinking, much more expanded view of how those structures of our body serve us and how they have disserved us and how we can get them back into optimal and anatomical, physiological function relationship for us. And then the third Sunday after that will be a brand new topic. It will be the jaw and the neck as a functional unit, both for the power of our chewing and swallowing and opening our digestive, absorptive, third chakra functions in our body, and specifically a lot of specifics about the unfolding of this miracle of the human articulate speech and language. So that is events to come. And I hope to see all of you there for those. And please tell your friends if you're enjoying this series. The more the merrier. And we should be getting this out to as many people as we possibly can. So if you like it, tell people. All right. So today, Saraswati, do you have anything to add as we get going?
It's all good. Thank you.
Okay. So today, we're going to be looking in some detail at the spine, which is one of the most, I don't know, one of, or the most complex skeletal, muscular, and anatomically functional core axis structures in our body. Could not be more important for us as bipeds, as sentient creatures, as nervous systems humming along happily, as support and movement radiates from that axis of the spine. It is our skeletal axis, it's our neural axis, it's our support axis, and it is the support structure from which all other movements in gravity radiate. So let's draw the blinds on the spine, shall we? And the first little image I want to take a look at here is thinking about the evolutionary origins of this all-important spinal structure for us. Spines first developed, of course, in fish and in reptiles. And in the fish, the spine is a cartilage structure and no ossification, no bones, just all soft tissue that is free to wriggle and swish that fish through its own medium of movement, the water. And when creatures began to leave that water and come out into the land and into the force field of gravity for the first time in evolution, that cartilage skeletal structure firmed up somewhat because the fish is floating and does not really experience gravity the same way that we land creatures do. So a little firmness in that cartilage had to be developed as snakes and reptiles and our ancient cousins began to slither around on the earth as we do. So from the fish to the snake and through the further development of creatures walking around on the surface or moving around on the surface of this planet of ours, this slither factor of a free undulatory movement of the spine is something that has to have been preserved so that we have the freedom of movement, we have the freedom of nerve conduction, we have the freedom of support in gravity, and we have the capacity to the full human potential of movement within that gravitational field that we enjoy and can enjoy to the fullest to the degree that we develop ourselves in that realm. So the next thing that happened with spine and arrangements was the advent of the salamander and lizard population of proliferating creatures on the planet. And what happened there was, of course, the appearance of forelegs and hind legs. Now not just simply slithering and belly crawling along the surface of the planet, but up on four postural support elements that opened up a radical transition in locomotion. Now not only slithering was possible, but running and jumping and twisting and turning in ways that only the hind legs and forelegs could supply for creatures. So a completely new dimension of relationship to gravity and interrelationship to the possibilities of movement and locomotion and spinal support entered the picture. Now, spinal support took a great leap in its development as soon as these four limbs showed up as way supports, because now the belly is not resting on the earth and the spine supported by the earth itself as our belly rests upon it, but now has to begin firming up a little further so that that spine can be a suspension bridge between those four elements of postural support, back limbs and forelimbs. So from belly crawling on the ground to up to forelimbs, the spine had to develop